I'm out here on the Delta. It's absolutely beautiful. The sun's out. I don't have a coat on. What could be better? Well, maybe the fishing. You'll have to check out the report for that. Let's sit down and talk about what's going on. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. You're watching In Deep on the Delta, and this is the January 15th report. Let's jump right into some river business, then we'll get into talking about that big tournament that they had up at Clear Lake. I've got some information for you on Don Pedro, and we've got some information on the Delta. But what we have going right now is the ISE show starting today, the 15th, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 15th through the 18th. That's the ISE show in Sacramento. I will be up there all 4 days at the Fisherman's Warehouse booth. So I really encourage all of you folks that are up there, come by and say hi. I want to look you in the face and see who in the heck's been watching all my videos, and we get a chance to talk. And I also know that Fisherman's Warehouse is going to have a lot of really good sales. So if you're looking to buy a new rod or maybe get a good bait deal, head over to Fisherman's Warehouse. Make sure you stop by and talk so we can get caught up on what you're going to be doing, and I'll let you know what I'm going to be doing in 2026. So with that, let's jump right over to Bassmasters, the San Joaquin Bassmasters. They're going to have their spaghetti dinner fundraiser. That's going to be Friday, January 23rd, 5 to 7 p.m. It's going to be out of Manteca at the Moose Lodge. And if you have any questions, give Cam Cardoza a call. Let me give you Cam's number right now. It's 209-502-0258. I'm going to be out there and hope to see you guys out there. A couple days ago, I was out at the Delta Saints annual fundraising dinner. They have their game feed. And man, I just want to say, great job to everybody that was involved with putting that game feed on, and a great job to all the people that were out there cooking. And they had 17 dishes. I think the dish that won the competition, they vote on, you know, what everyone's favorite was. It was a braised elk over polenta, and it was, I mean, it was top of the line, first class. Just a lot of really great food. They had some lumpia there. They had duck lumpia. They had duck sliders. They had some unbelievable, what was it? It wasn't duck. It was, what the heck was it? It was dove chili. It was good. It was a great feed. So if you guys get a chance to go up there, check it next year, make sure you go out and check that out. And you'll also be helping the Delta Saints Club. Moving along, let's talk about the Bass Hole Team Tournament schedule. That is coming up. Their first stop is going to be February 8th. That's going to be out at Orwood Resort. Remember, they're changing their location, so if you want to get involved in that, make sure you give Rob a call. I'll put Rob's number in the remarks. And also, start preparing for that March 1st tackle swap out in the parking lot at the Bass Hole, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can call Rob and get a table set up for you. And I think last year they were $20. I'm pretty sure it's $20 a table. But come on out. Again, I'll be out there, and I'll hopefully see you guys out there, and we'll get a chance to talk at the tackle swap. And again, that's March 1st. We also have a NorCal Bass Club tournament coming up. And they're starting their tournament season off, and I forgot to put the date down here. You can get a hold of Dave at NorCal Bass website. It's got all the information on there. I believe the tournament is actually this coming week. They are going to have all of their tournaments running out of Paradise Point, so I'm hoping to get out there and talk to the guys that fish those tournaments, and that's the NorCal Bass Club tournament schedule. So let's talk about what happened at Clear Lake last week. They had the big One Bass Open. I think they had 80 boats up there. I did talk last week on the report to Dave out at Clear Lake Outdoors, and he predicted there would be, or it would take about 90 pounds to win the tournament. Well, he was almost right. It took 98.3 to win the tournament. A young gentleman from Washington, Garrett Ellison, won the tournament. I've got hats off to Garrett. That's a heck of a weight. They had a couple of 90-pound bags, a couple of, I think, 80-pound bags, and you know, a few 70-pound bags. But by and large, the fishing was extremely tough. And I want you to kind of listen to what I'm about to say here, because if you think you see 98 pounds, I got to get up there and start catching some of these fish. Number one, the field did not do well at all. Fishing was extremely tough. Talking to Dave this week, he said it was very inconsistent. Number 36 out of, I think, 72 or 75 for 3 days, they had 35.2 pounds. And think about this, the gentleman that was in 36th place, 35.2 pounds 3 days. First day, 4 pounds 3 ounces. Second day, 22.7 pounds. Third day, 8.9 pounds. Gets back to Dave saying, very inconsistent. The bite windows were 15-minute windows. You had to be in the right place at the right time with the right bait. And if you were there, you caught big fish. Now the guys up at the top, they didn't catch a lot of fish. They were catching 5 or 6 fish per day. They just caught the right fish. They were in the right spot at the right time. Everybody was using minnow imitations, and I asked Dave, what separated professional anglers from 98 pounds all the way down to maybe, 1 fish per day? And it was a very interesting answer. He said age. I said age. First thing I thought of, well, maybe these guys are just in great shape and they were just able to fish harder than everyone else. No. Age, meaning the top 5 guys, 4 of the top 5 were all in their early 20s. What does that mean? They know forward-facing sonar. These young guys that are getting out there and know electronics and they know how to use them, they know how to use mapping, they're taking over on these things. And like I said, 4 of the top 5 guys, and I think the 5th guy, not sure on this, I think was John Pearl. And you guys know John is probably the top guy out there, or if not, one of the 3 top guys out there. He's a guide. He lives basically on the lake. For somebody like this guy Garrett to come in and beat John, like I say, my hat's off to him. And it kind of went like that through the course of the tournament. There was a lot more young guys that were in the top 3rd from out of the area, which is telling us that local knowledge that used to basically pay off every time, and it's still paying off, don't get me wrong, but if you know electronics, you can come into a place like Clear Lake and really do pretty darn good. So with that, the fishing was tough. There was a lot of very good fishermen up there that really, kind of blanked out. Most guys were reporting, you're going to see 100 fish a day come up and look at your bait. They might have caught 1 of those. And if you did that, you were doing well. So with that, if you're going up to Clear Lake, call Clear Lake Outdoors, talk to Dave. He'll give you an up-to-date situation of what's going on. And they're having good weather. And he's thinking, if we get a week of good weather, it may turn on for everybody up there. And I'll have Clear Lake Outdoors number in the remarks. So that's Clear Lake. I also talked to Aaron from over at Central Valley Bait and Tackle, talked to him about Don Pedro. Pedro is fairly slow, but Aaron did go out yesterday, and I want to make sure I get this absolutely right. He took his kayak out of Blue Oak Launch. Had about a 15 fish day for 17 pounds was his best 5. Most of the fish were between 2 and 3 pounds. He was fishing shallow, mostly jerkbaits, Cincos, and jigs. And that's not a bad day up there, especially for a kayak guy. They are not checking for golden mussel, and that's a big deal out there because, if you're in a boat, you can go up there, make sure you're clean and dry. You don't have to get banded or anything like that. So Don Pedro is not on fire, but they're catching fish. I want to thank Aaron out at Central Valley Bait and Tackle for sending me that report. And I've been talking to Aaron a lot. He's going to have hopefully a grand opening here maybe in a few weeks, maybe a month or so. He's going to have his new grand opening for Central Valley Bait and Tackle. I've also been getting some reports just from anglers that are going up to Oroville. Oroville is fishing okay. Again, you don't have to be banded to go up there. Berryessa, they're catching fish up there, but if you're not banded, you're gonna have to get your boat cleaned and banded. I also have a report from one of the subscribers that went up to Maloney's, and he fished with John Leasty from Experience Fishing Guide Service, and he picked up I think it was an 8.5 pound spot on a swim bait and ended up with geez, I forget, I think it was over 20 pounds. So, man, if you're banded for Maloney's, you need to go up there and give it a try, or if you're in a kayak, you can get up there without having the boat cleaned. So again, the golden mussel problem here. So with that, let's move on down to the Delta. And there's really not a lot going on. I've been out here a couple of days and scouting around. I'm not really doing much fishing, so I can't give you a fishing report. I can give you a report that the water is still very brown. I got about a foot visibility here in Disappointment Slough. I know Alan Fong has been talking about some of the levee breaks out north up by Liberty, and they're causing chocolate colored water. I talked to Rob Cloutier. He's telling me the same thing. He's not getting any reports out here. I have seen multiple sea lions out here both days, and that's telling me that there's probably some resident schooling stripers that are moving around here. Just nobody's fishing for them. The bass anglers that are out here are not catching much. I talked to one gentleman at the dock the other day. He was pre-fishing for that NorCal tournament. And he was out throwing blades, and he said the same thing that Dave told me up at Clear Lake. He's seeing a lot of the fish come up, look at the blade, and turn around. Just could not get anything to bite. So these fish are, I won't say they're inactive, but they just don't want to bite right now. 52-degree water temps out here, cloudy water. You know, something's going to give, and we've got this beautiful sunlight. I think it's going to warm the water up in the next few days. I will be up at the ISE show, but next week I'm going to start coming out and doing a little more fishing. What you should do if you come out here, you're probably going to want to fish blades. You're going to want to have something that's vibrating, something that those fish can hone in on. And both Rob and I agreed, and Rob's going to be coming out fishing this next week, we're going to start moving around to the backs of these sloughs, because that's where the clearest water is going to be, and it might be where the warmest water is. So if you come out here, you might think about getting back into these small sloughs and looking for a little clearer water. If you can find some moving water, you're basically going to have to be fishing high outgo tide. The incoming tide is not, it just doesn't exist. We have high water at low tide and higher water at high tide. So with that, I know it's another tough report, but I want to thank you guys for tuning in every week. It's going to get better out here. Maybe it'll be next week. Can't guarantee it, but if it is, I'll have the information. We'll let you guys know. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you at the ISE show. Good luck. If you come out here, be safe.